Hello friends, welcome back for some Ethereum technical analysis. I'm Rocky Outcrop. I do daily technical analysis for Bitcoin, which has got its own video, Ethereum, which is this video, and two other videos go out daily for Tezos and Chainlink. And I've also got a bonus coin section. If you have got any suggestions for me that you'd like me to see me do or whatever, take a look at that. And I did a live stream yesterday for the first time, so everything, wow, this channel is evolving all the time. There's a great Discord talking about evolution. Join the Discord as well if you want to. There's a link in the pinned comment down below, and you can get a lot of value out of communicating with other like-minded individuals and all that jazz. Right, so what we were looking at here in terms of Ethereum is, and I pointed out when I was looking over at the Bitcoin price during the video, I think I did anyway, I jumped over here and took a look at this and says, like, we've got this descending triangle area we were talking about before. We already moved the purple line to accommodate this change here in the price action. This is where the purple line was coming in at before, and we moved it again then, we didn't move it again. If this is the way it was before, that's where it was there, as the orange line shows. And we've come down and found support here a couple of times since, in terms of retracing back down as a sort of back test of that. We moved it over, as you can see, to here, just to kind of use where the wicks were previously and say, hey, maybe we've got this area, and we've to be aware of, and as this could potentially be our fake out territory. We do have a higher high over here than on the 24th of June, but we've come in so far then lower over here than on the 11th of June, and indeed than the 1st of June, which is the real area to be looking to in terms of 250. I don't know why I said 9. Well, I do because of Bitcoin. $250 is really kind of where we need to look to see if we can actually kind of change the score here at the minute, because the music that's playing just now is Flight of the Bumblebee, and we're just kind of fiddling around in this area. So are we going to go up or are we going to go down? That's the big question. As you can see, whenever we're kind of trending funny, we're going in a sideways trend. We have a kangaroo market where the prices bounce down here with lower lows, then put in highs and higher highs, that they've got this overlap of the trend where it could be turning around from. And if this is the lower part and this is the higher up part, how does that shape up? And is it bearishly divergent or anything like that? Looking at this, and at the minute, it's not really just between these two highs. So you could be, if you're looking at this from the sort of shorter term time frame, and we will check in with the lower time frames in a minute or two, you could be looking at that and saying some positive stuff, I suppose. But then looking back over towards the left and everything as well, have we got anything to be aware of? Well, this is a higher high here than it is here, so you couldn't say this is hidden bearish divergence. But if the trend does continue to the downside and we move down past that 220 area, then you'd be looking at that and thinking, well, hey, that was all we could really muster. That might have been the sort of the dead cat bounce style thing on a potential change to looking down towards these sub 200 areas, if that were to be the case. But this is all just going sideways really overall. Sure, somebody could come up with some sort of compound fulcrum type nonsense to stick in here or whatever, but we don't need to go mad with it. We'll look down to the low time frames in a minute and see how the divergence or whatever is shaping up, and if we could have any more chances towards the top side. But we can take just a look here at, if I take all the drawings off for a second, at where the 21 EMA is coming in at. And I do want to remind people that that's a pretty good solid area to look to just in general, to try and find. I've said in general maybe 5,000 times over the last 2 days. I apologize for that. I hate being one of these folk that's got a limited vocabulary. That is definitely not my modus operandi. If we look at the 21 EMA, that's a pretty good place to look to just in general. I'm not financial advisor, none of this financial advice in terms of just kind of getting an early finger on the pulse of the trend. So if the prices come back down to that 9235 area and don't manage to find support in there and then drop on down the way, say past the 230 area, then of course we could easily be looking towards some of the, if this wants to finish its dance. It's always funny how it does this sometimes so slow that you can see it. You done yet? I know you're not. Come on, keep moving. So we could be looking towards, this is crazy, we could be looking towards any of these sorts of areas, like the bottom of our rectangle here, which has just appeared at 230. This line that we have going sideways at 230, that was a bit mental. I guess my internet speeds are maybe going a bit slow. And then beyond that, if we did kind of trend towards the downside in some sort of kind of broadening wedge structure, which is what you would identify, I suppose, with the lower lows and the higher highs, instead of this background, this descending triangle effort, then what you'd have is that, and that could potentially be a continuation pattern. So we'll have to keep an eye on seeing how this would evolve overall. Of course, this could just be like, this could still just be a bearish pattern. Of course it could. But if we use this orange line here, looking at the lows, and this purple line at the top, you could maybe say that we've got this descending broadening wedge, which could be considered a continuation pattern from this upward trend here. But then again, it doesn't really change an awful lot. We're still looking at where our high just came in at 248 area. So we had that there. That was nice to talk about that on the channel and all the rest of it. And we've got the lows down there at 230 areas for us to be aware of, yada yada. Let's go down to the low time frames and see how we're going at the minute. So we're below the 21 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, for instance. You can see that they're spanned out in a more or less bearish, bullish pattern with the 21, 55, 144, 233 all there coming in, spread out nicely. And we just have had as well, it's 4-hour time frame, remember, a golden cross, so to speak, with the 50 simple crossing over the 200. Now, does that mean that that's all going to be all good and all the rest of it? Well, it does and it doesn't. You could look towards this sort of diminishing volume here, this potential shoulder here, this potential head here, and say that should we get a rise up of this just in the immediate aftermath of kind of finding support in that 237 area and come up towards that area and go down again, you could be looking at the early throws of a head and shoulders on the patterns just here in terms of a sort of minuscule time frame type effort here on this one. Going back the way though, if it did fill out for that long, then you're still looking at it having done it for a period of about 40 bars or so, so it's at least a bit of something on there, and you could look towards that. So that's why I would kind of keep my eye out for, I suppose, over the weekend, and I would look then towards the key areas like we have this purple line up here at that 247.50 area, and of course the 30 here, but then the neckline as well, should we move up and down again in terms of challenging this. We have a fuzzy line there on the charts at 242. You can see the EMAs for yourself as well. For more information, you can look at all the different time frames and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to leave it off there. I think that's pretty good. That certainly does a degree of the FOMO-free, bias-free, neutral technical analysis, which should integrate fairly well with what you're looking at as well. So then I would like to invite you to subscribe and help the channel grow even further. We've hit it past the 1,000. I'm so grateful and humbled, and thank you all so much for having shown the support to myself as I grow this channel. So I really do appreciate it. And let's see, if you're just joining me here for the first time today, if that's enough to convince you to join along too. Thanks to everybody for watching, including Carla Moon, who watches these episodes on a daily basis. That's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but as well, thanks to other people such as Matty Greenspan for having endorsed me there on Twitter and subscribed to the channel. If you're watching today, that's nice. Of course, I don't expect everybody to watch every single episode, but that's nice to have that. And as well, Tyler S. and other people on crypto Twitter and things like that in the world who show me support through the period so far. So thank you to all of them, and I'll catch you in the next episode.